Hi, it's the OGGM. It's Tuesday, July 12th. Yesterday was free Slurpee Day. Today is free, I don't know, bunch of crows standing on the grass day. It's also Amazon Prime Day. I've already checked to see if there were any Amazon Prime deals on anything related to us, and no, not really. There were a lot of dice on sale for Amazon Prime Day, but that was about it. If you're a video game person or an electronics person, obviously this is a big day for you because there's a lot of good deals on that kind of stuff. But if you were hoping for like some discounted Free League publishing books, nope, not so much. Okay, so as we know, it's San Diego Comic Book Con this weekend, which once upon a time meant something. Then it didn't mean something. Then it meant something for Hollywood and genre movies. And then it was like, well, it doesn't really mean anything anymore because anything you're going to talk about at San Diego Comic Book Con has already been spoiled on the internet. So now it's just back to wondering, what are we going to get announcements for? What mysteries are we going to get solved? What will Marvel and DC present us with? And more importantly, what will Wizards of the Coast present us with, if anything at all? And the other gaming companies. Wizards of the Coast has always had a presence. Dungeons and Dragons has always had a presence at San Diego Comic Con. Its presence has waxed and waned from very small, not much, just a booth, maybe some games being run, to very huge, to very small, to very huge. I mean, they're renting out a whole bar or making an artificial bar for the Honor Amongst Thieves thing. So yeah, and obviously the big question, of course, will be, I guess, and related to our hobby, is will there be any announcements for 2024 and the 50th anniversary, and what we can expect, and Stranger Things. So it's safe to say that of recent phenomena that have affected the popularity of our hobby, we can owe the growth a lot to Critical Role. I don't think 5e would be as big as it is right now if not for Critical Role, even though I don't think Critical Role's playing 5e. But that's just my personal opinion and nobody cares. And of course, morning. And of course, Stranger Things. But see, here's the thing. I know people are saying, oh, Stranger Things is the single greatest banner carrier for Dungeons and Dragons. It's even outshone Mercer. It's bigger than Critical Role. And the Duffer Brothers have done all this, and they're champions of D&D, except of course they're champions of D&D, not 5th edition, not anything Wizards of the Coast created, because the game they're playing in Stranger Things, the game that has influenced the metaverse of Stranger Things, is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, created by the TSR people and Gygax and Zeb and those guys. Nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast, nothing to do with 5th edition. All Stranger Things has done is brought a lot more attention to classic D&D and the OGL. And I know there's people who are like trying to use this as yet another way to insult the OGL, how it's not as big or as important in 5e, except of course all they're doing in Stranger Things is talking about Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Gygax's legacy, how Advanced Dungeons and Dragons was perceived in the 80s. It is a great champion for AD&D. It's not a champion for 5e other than in name. And as for the OSR being stuck in one place in time, I would, of course, direct your attention to all the nominees for Best Game of the Year. Whether it be the Ennies, Origins, Gamma, whatever. The most anticipated games of the year, the best games of the year, the games that are getting all the buzz in the actual industry aren't 5e. 5e is getting no industry buzz. 5e is not nominated for any awards. 5e is not considered influential as far as the progression of the hobby is concerned, because 5e hasn't evolved and 5e hasn't done anything breakthrough or paradigm shifting. They've played it safe, which is perfectly fine, you know, when you're making several $1 million a year off of just playing it safe and merchandising the heck out of the 5e D&D brand. You don't need to push their envelope. You don't need to champion the product line. All 5e has to do is stay the course, and they'll be fine until whatever it is Wizards of the Coast does in 2 years. Well, a year and a half. You know, 2023 5e will be fine. I'd be worried about 2024, but 2023 5e will be fine. The OGL, though, is the games that are pushing the envelope, progressing the hobby. They're the games that D&D looks to before they make whatever choices and changes they're going to make to Dungeons and Dragons. Stranger Things is championing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. They're championing the OGL. They're championing the idea of, you know, the way games were played and the way games should be played and the games people actually want to play and the games the industry is looking at. None of the games nominated for any awards this year are 5e. There are OGL games. They're all games that have spawned from the DIY creativity of everybody else. The rest of the world is moving on, while the 5e is in the exact same place it was last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. It hasn't evolved. It hasn't changed. Wizards of the Coast hasn't done anything breakthrough. I know people are going to say, but Strixhaven. It's like, dude, no. There's literally not a single original idea in Strixhaven. It was all done before. And Strixhaven is what? One of the worst selling products, you know? The only reason Strixhaven gets any press is because people keep bringing it up. So yeah, I am very excited to see what announcements will come out of the San Diego Comic-Con. How the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons flag bearer, that is Stranger Things, will continue to influence the hobby and the direction the hobby is going. How the OGL and the DIY game movement and the non-5e games, the non-Wizards of the Coast 5e games, will evolve and change. And then, you know, what's going to happen after Stranger Things? What's going to happen after Critical Role? What is the future of the media relationship with our hobby? These are all things that are going to come out, or at least get hinted at, this weekend. We're also obviously going to get hints on what's going on with the MCU and the mess that is DC and fantasy television shows and, you know, what's going on with Game of Thrones and what's going on with The Witcher and what's going on with video game titles that affect our hobby. What's going on with all the other things that affect our hobby? How is the relationship between the digital world and the media world going to continue to evolve and change? And oh, hi baby, are you lost? Oh my god, you look like Zoe. Hi kitty. Oh, hi little kitten, are you lost? Oh baby, hi Zoe. Oh, looks like my old cat Zoe. Anybody remember Zoe? Oh baby, hi. Anyways, that's all I've got to say. Let's just stare at this cat for a bit. Oh, it's gone. Okay, yeah. Stranger Things, thank you for making Advanced Dungeons and Dragons relevant again and in the public eye. OGL, thank you for continuing to push the boundary and push the paradigm and create new and different things. You don't have to always agree with these things, you know, like solo storytelling RPGs. I don't really get that, but who's to say you can't take a solo RPG and turn it into a normal RPG? And it's just a sign of the evolution of the hobby and the change of the hobby. And for everything that we like, there's obviously going to be things we don't like or don't agree on. But I'm always very excited to see how the industry is responding, evolving, changing, what's going to come out of San Diego Comic-Con and the other conventions coming up, and how the small population of people who don't really understand Dungeons and Dragons and 5th edition and Gygax's legacy are going to respond. But yeah, just a reminder, the game they're playing in Stranger Things is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, not Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons. Anyways, that's all I got to say. We'll be back with our regular scheduled nonsense soon. See ya.